Punjetha Magridha Kasya Svidhanam Īśāvāsyamidam sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat Tena Tyaktena Bhunjetha Magridha Kasya Svidhanam Kurvanneveha Karmani Jijivishechatam Samaha Evam Tvayi Nanyatetosti Na Karma Lipyate Nare.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Now, the verse, let's wait and maybe in a bit we will recite that verse as well. It's really, really good to have that verse ongoing. But let's just start with the Mangalacharan and we shall resume back to our third mantra. And all right, okay, let's start it. Take it from there. Hare Krishna. Good? Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om. Ajnana-timirandasya Jnana-jana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manomishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamayam Kadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Yudapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatha Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitam Shah. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Karmami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshitarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev Maharaj ki jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Jai Jai Shri Radhesha. Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna, Rajeshi. Hare Krishna. So good to have you, Prabhuji, with us. Hare Bol. Great. So we have started Shri Īśopaniṣad. We did the background. We did the introduction. Then we moved on to the mantras. There are 18 mantras. We started with mantra 1, Īśāvāsyam. Everything belongs to Krishna. Everything belongs to Ishwar. And we have our own quota. So there's no need to be envy or jealous from anyone. And we don't even need to be very worried of anything which we might not have. We don't really need to be. Then verse 2, moving on, says attachment to Krishna. That's Krishna is Poon, Krishna is Īśopaniṣad. So everything belongs to Krishna. If we get attached to Krishna, then we will be happy, right? So it's like we don't have electricity in our home. We get attached to the powerhouse. Arigo. We don't have to worry about the electricity in our home. However, it doesn't really matter how great our electric bulbs and all the electric circuits in our rooms and our houses are. If we don't have the power connected from the powerhouse, none of them going to work. And that's what verse 2 is saying. We need to connect with Krishna. Verse 3 says, what will happen if we will not connect to Krishna, as per verse 2. Hare Krishna. हिंदी भाषी भक्तों का भी स्वागत है. तो हम श्री ईशोपनिषद कर रहे हैं. श्री ईशोपनिषद की स्टडी के अंदर हमने बैकग्राउंड देखा, हमने इंट्रोडक्शन देखा. प्रभुपाद जी ने ओम पूर्णमदा पूर्णमिदं, पूर्ण, भगवान पूर्ण है, भगवान से निकले हम पूर्ण है. भगवान भगवत गीता में कई जगह ये कहते हैं कि इसे एक वर्ष है, माम अंशो जीवन, हम भगवान के अंश हैं, पार्ट एंड पार्सल हैं. तो भगवान पूर्ण है, भगवान से जो हम निकले हैं हम भी पूर्ण हैं. तो जैसे हम संस्कृत के वर्सेस होते हैं, संस्कृत के वर्स जब हम पूरी तरीके से याद कर लेते हैं, जहां से हमने याद किए होते हैं वहां पर भी पूरी बुक में ओरिजिनल वर्स रहता है. हमको भी पूर्ण ज्ञान हो गया और वही ज्ञान हम आगे भी बांट सकते हैं. इसी तरीके से भगवान से हम निकले हैं, भगवान से पूर्ण मनुष्य निकलने के बाद भी पूर्ण भगवान पूर्ण ही रहते हैं. और फिर हमने देखा कि वर्स 1 के अंदर ईशावास्यम कंसेप्ट को प्रभुपाद जी ने और डिटेल में एक्सप्लेन किया कि सब कुछ प्रभु का, भगवान का, ईश्वर का ही है. हमको, हर जीवात्मा को, हर लिविंग एंटिटी को भगवान ने एक कोटा दिया है और वो कोटा खुद हमारे कर्मों की वजह से है. माता जी ने लास्ट क्लास में बहुत अच्छा क्वेश्चन पूछा था एक कर्म को लेके, तो हम आज थोड़ा सा समय कर्म के ऊपर बिताने की कोशिश करेंगे. हरे कृष्णा. माता जी प्लीज.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Just a question that this applies to living entities like human beings or to any other living entities on this material world, Prabhuji?
All the living beings, Mataji, all the living beings. The only difference is that we animals, so we have animal kingdom, then all of those in animal kingdom, the way karma works for them is a bit different. So, for example, somebody will get into a dog yoni. Somebody will become a dog, maybe for 10 years. So dogs usually live very short. 10 years is a long time for them. So if a dog is 10 years old, usually we refer as a dog is old. So if there is a dog based on previous karma, if somebody needs to be in the dog yoni, then it will be decided that how long dog will be and where that dog will be, whether dog will be in a rich country or poor country, whether the dog will have opulent, so it could be a royal dog in a royal family, or could be a poor dog in a poor family, or could be a street dog, could be a dog full of diseases. All these things, they are predestined based on the dog's previous karma. So somebody got a human life, not making good use of the life, doing all the bad things which are not as per the Vedic injunctions, that human next time may get into animal kingdom. But once animal kingdom has started, once that duration of 10 years has started, then that dog will not have any karmic effect. So that dog will not able to do good karma or bad karma while the dog is there. It's a kind of punishment, if we say. But during that process, the dog will not have any karmic effects. However, dog got into the dog yoni based on the karma. So karma still works, but not while the dog is there. So the snake might bite, or the tiger might kill a lot of small animals in the jungle. So tiger is not going to get any bad karmic effects for that. But obviously, based on the previous karma, that animal got into that animal kingdom for a certain time. And once that is over, then again, based on previous karmas, somebody will get into a different life. So it happens. There are some examples given in Bhagavatam. Jad Bharat is a great example. So there was a King Bharat, and then King Bharat went into the jungle, did a lot of tapasya, a lot of austerity, but right at the end got attached to a deer or a child deer, who of course later became a deer. And then while King Bharat was leaving the body, consciousness was not Krishna consciousness, it was a deer consciousness. He was thinking, I'm dying, what will happen to that deer? And that's the reason he became deer in next birth. And that deer got to be in that yoni for so long. And after that, he came back as into a human body as what we call Jad Bharat. So that was the third, and that was the final birth for King Bharat. So very good question, Mataji. I hope.
Sorry, Prabhuji, what karma did the dog do? Because I don't think, sorry, I'm quite ignorant, but the karmas that we do, I thought it affected only the human life. So what you did in this life will take you into the next yoni, and then you go as per the sort of transmigration of the soul from one to the another.
Yes. But sometimes what happens as a kind of results for our karma in human body. So while we were human, we made some bad karma and we did some good karma. For bad karmas, maybe we will have to become a dog for 10 years. And after that, that period will finish. The results of our bad karma finished. And then if we did any good karma, because of those good karmas, we will get next birth, maybe back again in a human life. And while we are in human life, we will start making karmas again. But while we were a dog, we would not make any karma. We were just experiencing the fruits of our previous bad karma.
That's what I was thinking, that whatever we do in this human life, that will carry us forward or backwards, whatever. And then once that finishes, then we start all over again.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. And based on that, Ajay has asked a very nice question on holy cow. So it says, what about karma for cow? She's pure and we say mother, still people cut her, I think. So yes, now the way it goes, remember we all are souls, and now cows are also, first of all, for example, in Bhagavad Gita it says, based on the karmas, we get the next birth. And the next birth could be we did that in Goloka chart. Based on our previous karmas, we can get birth back on earth, but we can get birth on religious family, aristocratic family, wealthy family. It doesn't say wealthy, but a family which will spiritually help us. So if somebody is already born into a Vaishnav family, in a deity worshipping family, doesn't really matter which sampradaya, but that will be helpful for the spiritual progress. And then maybe somebody will get birth in heavenly planets. So we have upper planets, we have lower planets, and we have the earth where we are. So altogether 14 planetary system we have in this material world. So based on karmas, we get upper planet or lower planet. And then on the planet earth, we have human, we have trees, we have animal kingdom. Now, based on what, for example, there's a pastime in Bhagavatam where the sons of Kuver, they were drinking a lot of alcohol, and they were in the river and they were enjoying themselves. Imagine their father is the treasury Kuber. So Kuber is seen is the most opulent person because he takes care of all the money on behalf of all the demigods. So they didn't have any shortage of money. They were enjoying themselves. And Narad Muni came across, and there were many females also there, female counterparts as they are in Swarga. So all the females, they put their clothes up, they covered themselves because they saw Muni, Narad Muni. But these two, they were so drunk and they were so high in opulent, they were so ignorant at that moment, they ignored. They ignored Narad Muni. And what Narad Muni said, because nothing made difference for you when I came. You are as naked as tree. So what benefit you have getting into these demigods' body? You better go down on planet Earth and become tree. And they become, in next birth, they become Yamla Arjun trees. But of course, they were demigods. As soon as they realized they made mistakes, they folded hands and they said, "So sorry, Narad Muni, I know you cursed us, but could you do please a favor for us that we should not lose Krishna consciousness?" And then Narad Muni said, "Of course, I give you the benediction that you will become trees, but you will get out of that yoni, you will get delivered by the Lord himself." So they became trees, but they became trees where Krishna was in Nandagaon, in the yard. Imagine, Krishna was playing with those trees. And as we know, the Leela of Damodar Ashtakam, we sing all. So Krishna went through and the trees fell through. Now, similar thing if you think about, based on cow, the original question is based on cows. So somebody has done good karma, but still the karma, or have done some bad karmas as well. Based on the bad karmas, you would still get into animal kingdom, but the karma was not bad enough. And you have a lot of pious karmas as well. So you will go down to the animal kingdom, which is cow, but still, because the karmas were not so bad and you have still done a lot of good karmas, you will become cow. But now the cows could be, so if you go to the temple, there are cows there in Bhaktivedanta Manor in North London, Watford. If you go, there are some cows there. The cows are taken so good care. And I remember in Vrindavan, just at the back of Bihariji, my Mamaji is there. And he used to have many cows. Now he got a couple of cows and he takes care of cows just like family members. You know, they got the names. The cow got the name, and the same thing here in the temple. Now, some cows, based again on their previous karmas, they will get into such a family that it's a Vaishnav. If the family members are Vaishnav, they will take care of the cows as mothers. But of course, you got into animal kingdom, you became cow. So it's a mix of good and bad. But still, your bad was a bit more than good. And you will not get birth in a Vaishnav family. You might get into the hands of those who will cut you down. So again, it's based on the karmas, and that's the reason there is a small presentation, some screenshots I put together, and we will try to understand how karmas work there. Because karmas are very simple. If you think about good karmas, bad karmas, that chapter 16 is there. List a number of qualities also. It's easy to understand what are good karmas, what are bad karmas. But the results when we get, that's very hard to figure out. That's very, very, very hard to figure out that I got this result of which karma. That's very hard for us to confirm. For example, as I was saying, when I was a child, I used to eat a lot of sweets in my childhood. But then maybe last 15, 20 years, I don't. But the damage that sweet might have done, that will come back maybe after 15 or 20 years. And it happens a lot of people. A lot of people, they keep drinking, they keep smoking, they keep eating non-vegetarian. And for maybe 20, 30 years, they didn't realize what they did to their body and their consciousness. But right at the end, when doctor says, you're obese, you need to cut down weight. Now, somebody who got 20 kgs extra weight on themselves, it's very hard to put down. But it didn't happen overnight. We have done it slowly, 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 slowly. So maybe what we ate 20 years back, that's coming out now. So the result, I think anybody will understand easily. If we eat good, our body will be good. If we eat bad, our body will be bad. But what happens? It doesn't happen straight away. And that's the only dilemma. If somebody will smoke, they enjoy it now, but the bad thing to the body doesn't happen straight away. Or even if it happens, it doesn't happen that fast that we can see it straight away. It's happening inside. Unfortunately, we cannot see what's inside. And it takes time to manifest outside. So based on that, it's very difficult. So Hare Krishna, Jiji. Thank you so much. Very nice question. And Kana has said something. Yesterday, I was reading in Bhagavad Gita, third chapter. We think we are doer of activities, but we are doing things according to the modes of material nature. And these modes are based on our previous karma. These are based on our present karma as well. Okay, great. Okay, this is a question. So yes, karmas, as I said, it's very hard. Now, chapter 3, Karma Yoga, explains very nicely that who is a doer? Who does the work? Is it me who is doing it, or is it somebody else? And I always give an example. I think I gave this example, or must have given this example for the children, because that involved the examples of my children. So there are 3 parts to it. So Kana said, who is doing this? Am I doing it? Or the mode of material nature doing it? Maya doing it. Maya Devi is making us do. We always say this is all Maya. This is all illusion. We are, Arjun said it. It's not only us. Arjun said it to Krishna that Krishna looks like somebody from outside, like the external force is making us do things, good or bad. It's not us, something from outside. And Krishna, what Krishna says, this is my Maya. Because that's what Krishna said. This is my Maya which makes do this. And then Krishna gives the solution. How can you come out of that? How can you rise beyond that? How can you transcendent, which means you will go passion. So you will go ignorance, then above ignorance, passion, then you become Satguru, and then pure goodness, which is even above goodness, which pure devotees become. And they don't get affected by these gunas at all. But let's take the example. So the way it goes, the Jivatma, the soul, desires, right? The soul desire to do something. Let's say the soul desire, I would like to go to a movie. And so the soul is a spiritual soul. But the body is matter. Body is dead. Body is full of gunas. The body will do things. So the soul desire, the body will exhibit. Body will do implementation of it. And then Paramatma, Krishna will give the confirmation, the approval. Okay, if you want, go for it. Not that Krishna wants us to do it, but if child will request again and again, all the parents will understand that at the end, parents say, okay, if you want it, go for it. If you want to have more ice cream, go for it. If you want to have more chocolate, go for it. You will fall sick, but looks like you will only understand once you will fall sick. And it happens. So take the example. Shivani will desire that I would like to have chocolate. But Shivani cannot go. She is still young. Shivani will not go, but Shivani's elder brother, Aryan, is a teenager. Aryan will say, okay, if you want chocolate, I will buy you chocolate. But then Aryan is a teenager. He can go and buy it, but he doesn't have money. So he still needs money from his father. So Aryan would go to his father and say, could you give me the money? And the father will give the money, right? So who is the doer? Who bought the chocolate? But the chocolate was bought because Shivani desired. But who bought the chocolate exactly? Aryan bought it. But who gave the money? Father gave it. So who was actually the doer? So that's why chapter 3 explains there are 3 doers, and based on which particular karma we are looking for. But the way we could remember, the soul desire, and that desire is the main fundamental root cause of everything, spiritual or material. We desire to do good, we do desire to do bad. So the soul desire, the body based on the gunas will perform, and then Paramatma, Krishna will approve, will say, okay, even though not favorable, but okay, if you want to do it, go for it. Get it done so you can move on, or you can learn from your own experience. I hope, Kana, that makes sense, but it's hard. And Krishna explains to Arjun as well that the understanding of karma, how karma works, and mainly, as I was saying, the results of karmas, that's even more much complex and complicated. Reason being that it's not a linear thing. You do this, this will happen. And it doesn't happen straight away. That's the main thing. It could take ages for our karmas to manifest into the results. And we will try to see few more bits into it. So thank you for that question, Kana. So thank you, Mataji, thank you, Ajay ji, and thank you, Kana, for these questions. हमारे हिंदी भाषी भक्तों के लिए तो माता जी ने बहुत अच्छा क्वेश्चन पूछा, जो जानवर होते हैं उनके लिए, कि जो जानवर हैं क्या वो जानवर की योनि में भी कुछ कर्म करते हैं? तो जो जानवर की योनि में कर्म नहीं माना गया, वो सिर्फ अपने पुराने कर्मों को वहां पे कर्मों के रिजल्ट्स के रूप में भोग रहे हैं। चाहे वो टाइगर बने, चाहे वो लायन बने, चाहे वो काऊ बने, चाहे वो कुत्ता बने, कुछ भी बने, वो उतने साल वहां पे भोगेंगे और उसके बाद बेस्ड ऑन प्रीवियस कर्म वो फिर एक नया जन्म लेंगे, और जब वो ह्यूमन लाइफ लेंगे तब वो कर्म करना शुरू करेंगे। और उसके बाद अजय जी ने पूछा, फिर अगर गाय है तो गाय तो इतनी अच्छी मानी जाती है, तो उनको कुछ काट देते हैं लोग, बहुत अत्याचार होता है, तो वो कैसे समझा जाए? तो उसको हम ऐसे समझ सकते हैं कि हमारे कर्मों की वजह से हम लोअर प्लैनेटरी सिस्टम मानते हैं, कि अगर कोई लोअर प्लैनेट्स नहीं, लेकिन इसी प्लैनेट में लोअर किंगडम, तो मनुष्य जीवन मिला है, ये सबसे ऊपर है, क्योंकि इसमें आप भक्ति कर सकते हैं। लेकिन अगर आपने अच्छा काम नहीं किया तो आप जानवर बनेंगे। लेकिन ऐसा नहीं है कि बहुत बुरा काम किया या बहुत अच्छे काम भी करे लेकिन कुछ बुरे काम भी किए। जैसे अगर कोई गलत काम करता है तो पुलिस सजा देती है, तो जज जो होते हैं वो डिसाइड करते हैं कि आपने कितना अच्छा काम किया है, कितना बुरा काम किया है। जो बुरा काम किया है क्या वो अपनी इच्छा से किया है या किसी की संगत में आके किया है, ऐसा भी होता है। जैसे कि किसी ने किसी का खून किया लेकिन किसी के कहने से किया, तो कौन किसको ज्यादा जिम्मेवार मानेंगे? तो ये जज डिसाइड करते हैं। तो बेस्ड ऑन ऑल दैट, इस सब के नजर में रख के हमारे जो कर्म होते हैं उसके फल हमें ऐसे मिलते हैं कि हो सकता है हम जानवर बने, लेकिन जानवर में भी हम ऐसे जानवर बने जो कि हो सकता है अच्छी फैमिली में हो सकते हैं अच्छे जानवर हो, जैसे कि गाय, हो सकता है कि मोर बने जो कि लोग काफी देखना पसंद करते हैं, रादर देन ऐसे जो कि कुत्ता बने, वो भी कोई गली का कुत्ता जो कोई नहीं चाहता, लेकिन हो सकता है कोई रॉयल फैमिली में कुत्ता बन जाए। तो ये बेस्ड ऑन प्रीवियस हमारे जो अपने खुद के कर्म हैं उसी के बेस के ऊपर ऐसा होगा। लेकिन कोई गाय भी बने, गाय के बाद भी कोई वैष्णव फैमिली में बन सकता है गाय, कोई जैसे लंदन टेम्पल के अंदर अगर हम देखते हैं, इंडिया में भी बहुत सारे टेम्पल हैं जहाँ पे गाय रखी जाती हैं, तो वहां पे गायों की सेवा होती है। तो गाय बने, लोअर किंगडम में गए, एनिमल किंगडम में गए, जानवर बने, लेकिन उसमें भी गाय बने, और गाय बन के भी आपके पास में फिर बेस्ड ऑन एक्सपीरियंस, बेस्ड ऑन कर्मा, आप अच्छी फैमिली में जाएंगे या अच्छी फैमिली में नहीं जाएंगे, वैष्णव फैमिली में, टेम्पल में, कहाँ जाएंगे। तो उस बेस के ऊपर हो सकता है कि आप ऐसी जगह पे जाएं जहाँ पे आपको काटा जाए या आपको सम्मान किया जाए माँ की तरह। तो ये हमारे ही कर्मों के बेस के ऊपर हमको आगे जन्म मिलता है। उसके बाद कान्हा ने ये क्वेश्चन पूछा कि चैप्टर 3 के अंदर कर्मों के लिए ये देखा गया कि कर्म कौन करता, कौन है ये कर्म क्या हम करते हैं या हमसे जो हमारे गुण हैं, रजो तमो सतोगुण, ये तीनों गुण हमसे करवाते हैं। और यही अर्जुन ने भगवत गीता में भगवान कृष्ण से कहा भी कि भगवान ये कौन करता है, क्योंकि ऐसा लगता है कि बाहर से कोई ऐसी ताकत है जो हमसे ये सब करवा रही है। और भगवान इस चीज को कंफर्म करते हैं, बिल्कुल सही कहा आपने, ये मेरी ही माया है जो आपसे करवा रही है गुणों के रूप में। तो और वो गुण, वो मैं उन गुणों के परे हूँ, और अगर कोई जीव आत्मा भगवान को सरेंडर करता है तो वो भी उन गुणों के ऊपर जा सकता है। और जैसे हमने कहा कि भगवान पूर्ण है, हम भी पूर्ण है, हम बस भगवान से जो कनेक्शन है उसको भूल जाते हैं। वो कनेक्शन जब हमारा भगवान से बन जाता है, जो कि वर्स 2 में है, अटैचमेंट टू कृष्णा, तब सब कुछ सही रहता है। लेकिन अगर वो कनेक्शन नहीं हो पाता, तो जो मंत्रा 3 के अंदर बता रहे हैं कि हमें पनिशमेंट मिलती है, जो लगता है कि संसार में सभी भोग रहे हैं, हम यहाँ पर आध्यात्मिक जगत छोड़ के हम भौतिक संसार में हैं, ये मंत्रा 3 का साक्षात्कार है कि हम कितना भोग कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे। क्योंकि ये दुखालय है, किसी के पास पैसे हो, पावर हो, जो भी चीज हम सोच सकते हैं यहाँ पे मिलना, वो सबके पास, सारी चीजें किसी एक इंसान के पास भी हो, तब भी वो इंसान खुश नहीं रह सकता। इसके हमारे पास बहुत ही एग्जाम्पल है, मटीरियली भी और स्पिरिचुअली भी। तो हम इसके अंदर समझते हैं कि कर्मों को अगर हम समझना चाहें तो कैसे समझ सकते हैं कि जो आत्मा होती है वो आत्मा सत्य चित्त आनंद है, लेकिन वो आत्मा क्योंकि अपने आप को मटीरियल मोड से कनेक्ट करती है, तो वो आत्मा डिजायर करती है, वो आत्मा डिजायर करती है। और जो शरीर है वो मैटर का बना है, वो जड़ है, वो गुणों से के अंदर आके काम करता है। तो आत्मा ने डिजायर किया, लेकिन शरीर ने गुणों के अंदर काम किया, और फिर परमात्मा ने एक परम पिता के रूप में उसको उसकी स्वीकृति दी कि हाँ ठीक है, चलो आप ये कर सकते हो। लेकिन इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि भगवान चाहते हैं कि हम वो करें, लेकिन क्योंकि हमारी डिजायर है, और एक अच्छे माता पिता की तरह भगवान वो हमें करने देते हैं, क्योंकि हम बार बार उस चीज की डिजायर करते हैं। बहुत सारी चीजें ऐसी होती हैं हम डिजायर करते नहीं होती, हम कहते हैं क्यों भगवान नहीं चाहता, क्योंकि भगवान को मालूम है कि वो हमारे लिए अच्छा नहीं है, हमें नहीं मालूम। लेकिन अगर हम बार बार उसके लिए करते हैं, हम देखते हैं जबरदस्ती वो काम हो जाता है, लेकिन वो अच्छे से नहीं होता। और इसके भी हमारे बहुत सारे हमारे शास्त्रों के अंदर एग्जाम्पल हैं। तो इस तरीके से हम देखें तो माता जी ने, अजय जी ने और अपने कान्हा ने ये तीनों क्वेश्चन पूछे, और बहुत ही अच्छे हैं। ये हमारे मन में आने चाहिए क्वेश्चन जब हम पढ़ें, और देखेंगे हम किस तरीके से श्री ईशोपनिषद और भगवत गीता दोनों के अंदर जो बातें दी हैं वो मैच करती हैं। और इसी तरीके से जब हम आगे नेक्टर ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शन पढ़ेंगे, नेक्टर ऑफ डिवोशन पढ़ेंगे, भक्ति रसामृत सिंधु और उपदेशामृत जो रूप गोस्वामी जी ने लिखे हैं, हम देखेंगे वो प्रैक्टिकल किस तरीके से हमें भक्ति करनी चाहिए, और भक्ति जब हम करेंगे तो कौन से गुण हैं हमारे अंदर। जैसे कि नेक्टर ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शन, उपदेशामृत, उपदेश जो मिले हैं, उसके अंदर एक सबसे अच्छा वर्स आता है कि वाचो वेगम क्रोधा वेगम, कि वाचो वेगम, वाच जो हम बोलते हैं उसका वेग हम कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं। क्रोध वेगम, जो क्रोध है, जो गुस्सा है, हम उसका कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं। और डिजायर जो है वो क्रोध का फंडामेंटल रूप माना जाता है, कि कभी भी हमें गुस्सा आएगा तो उसके पीछे हमने कुछ डिजायर की है, हमारी कोई डिजायर पूरी हो जाए या डिजायर पूरी ना हो, तो उसके ऊपर ही हमें गुस्सा आता है। अगर हमारे अंदर डिजायर ही ना हो, किसी की अगर कोई डिजायर नहीं है, कोई मटीरियल डिजायर नहीं है, हाँ अगर किसी की डिजायर ये है कि मैं हमेशा भक्तों की सेवा करूं, मैं भगवान के बारे में पढ़ूं, भगवान के बारे में सुनूं, तो उससे कोई किसी को गुस्सा नहीं आएगा, आना भी नहीं चाहिए। तो इस तरीके से हम ये समझ सकते हैं। बहुत ही अच्छा कान्हा ने कहा कि दैट लीड्स टू इल्यूजन, और ये बिल्कुल सही है। ये चैप्टर 3 के अंदर जो कान्हा बता रहे हैं वो आता है, चैप्टर 2 के एंड में भी आता है, किस तरीके से हम किसी चीज के बारे में सोचते हैं, वो चीज अगर नहीं होती तो उसकी वजह से हमें गुस्सा आता है, और गुस्से की वजह से हम इतने भ्रमित हो जाते हैं, हम ऐसे काम कर देते हैं, जब गुस्सा शांत हो जाता है तो हमें दुख होता है। जैसे कि अक्सर क्रिकेट का एग्जाम्पल आता है, आजकल तो मेरे को मालूम नहीं, लेकिन पहले क्रिकेट के लिए लोग अपने टीवी तोड़ दिया करते थे, क्यों? और फिर जब शांत होते थे तो कहते थे अरे यार मेरे टीवी तोड़ने से थोड़ी ना हमारी टीम जीत जाएगी। लेकिन उस टाइम पे क्यों नहीं? क्योंकि गुस्सा था, और गुस्से में आके इतने भ्रमित हो गए थे कि बहुत बुरा काम उन्होंने कर दिया। So Hare Krishna, very nice. Now, just to say that usually we said that for each mantra we will spend 2 sessions, one to introduce and one to conclude. But today we will not conclude mantra 3, right? Even though what we have discussed is on mantra 3, and basic more than mantra 3, how all these verses come together, because that's the way we remember. That's the way we should remember. Remember, we cannot understand that we cannot remember all the 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita. Somehow somebody might able to recite and remember all the translations and all the purpose of 700, but it's very hard. what we could do is we can remember the theme. We can split the whole 700 verses into 18 chapters into 3 sections, and then, for example, first 6 karma, in middle bhakti, last jnana, and even in the first 6, if we try to remember, we can say first is observing the army, second in the summary content, karma yoga chapter 3, transcendental jnana yoga chapter 4, chapter 5 you mix chapter 3 and 4. Chapter 3 karma yoga, chapter 4 the knowledge, transcendental knowledge, chapter 5 is still the chapter 3 karma yoga. So in 5 is still the karma yoga, the actions, but in transcendental knowledge. So chapter 3 and 4 together is 5, and chapter 6 is where we get into, or Krishna explains a bit more about the Ashtanga yoga, Dhyana yoga, and then we move on further. So Hare Krishna, thank you so much for your blessings. So this is how we should remember. This is how it's easy to remember. If we say Bhakti Yoga in the middle 6 chapters, if we go for the themes, it's very easy for us to remember. And why should we remember? We should not remember so we can go and speak to someone and say, oh, look, I remember Bhagavad Gita. We remember all these things so we can implement that in our life, right? Day to day of our life. When people speak to us, Vacho Vegam, Krodha Vegam, Mansa Vegam. Mind is also in control, and a lot of things. So all these things will be there in our behavior, in our day-to-day dealing. And this will be easily, like somebody does the yoga, somebody does maybe dieting. That person doesn't need to tell anyone I'm doing dieting. People look at you and say, wow, you must be doing something great. What are you doing? And that's how the bhakti should be, devotional service. Devotees are usually, or should always be happy, always happy. Right, okay. So let's move on. So the reason I was saying today we will not conclude, because next week, another devotee who is doing Bhakti Vaibhav with me, he is going to come and he's going to do a special session on Mantra 3. So based on his experience, he will share his understanding on Mantra 3. I've already shared the presentation slides with him, and he has the flexibility. He might use these presentations or these slides, or he might have something else. But it's always good to hear from different speakers. So it should not become monotonous. And that's the reason I encourage you, all of you, to ask questions or do the discussion, because that's what we really need. Hare Krishna. So, right, okay, maybe 5 more minutes, and then what we will do. So I will do a quick recap of what we did, and then we will do a bit more on karma and the results of karma. We will see that as well today. So if we see, अगर हम देखें अब तक हमने जो किया, तो what is the principle? Everything is perfect. Everything belongs to Ishwar, which is called Īśopaniṣad. How living in harmony benefits, how living in disharmony not benefit. So it harms us. And this is the main thing. Mantra 3 हमको क्या बताना चाह रहा है कि अगर हम भगवान के हिसाब से नहीं जीते, तो भगवान से कनेक्ट होके नहीं जीते, तो हमारा क्या नुकसान हो सकता है, और बहुत ही नुकसान हमारा हो सकता है। इसके बारे में बहुत सारे एग्जाम्पल दिए हैं। इसका एक एग्जाम्पल हमने लिया, जैसे कि हम बुर्ज खलीफा का एग्जाम्पल लेते हैं कि अगर हमको 150th बिल्डिंग से 150वीं बिल्डिंग, एक बिल्डिंग में 150वें माले से, फ्लोर से नीचे आना है, तो हम सीढ़ी लेकर आ सकते हैं, हम लिफ्ट लेकर आए तो बेटर है। लेकिन एक और ऑप्शन है कि हम खिड़की खोलें और नीचे कूद जाएं। ऑप्शन है अवेलेबल, लेकिन अगर वो हम ऑप्शन लेंगे तो वो मंत्रा 3 होगा। वो मंत्रा 3 होगा कि हम भगवान से कनेक्टेड नहीं है, भगवान की विजडम से कनेक्टेड नहीं है। हमने लिफ्ट नहीं ली, हमने सीढ़ी नहीं ली, लेकिन हम खिड़की खोल के नीचे कूद गए, हमने अपना डिसीजन लिया, लेकिन क्योंकि विजडम कनेक्टेड नहीं थी, तो हमारा बहुत नुकसान होगा। तो इस तरीके से, और ऐसे बहुत सारे एग्जाम्पल्स हैं, ये सब हम देख चुके हैं। तो ये बस हम स्लाइड्स आगे कर रहे हैं, लेकिन ये सारी चीजें हम पीछे डिस्कस कर चुके हैं। इसके अंदर हमने कर्म, विकर्म, अकर्म की बात करी। विकर्म जो नेगेटिव है, कर्म जो पॉजिटिव हैं लेकिन हम कुछ इच्छाएं करते हैं उसके अंदर, और अकर्म जब हम कोई फल की इच्छा नहीं करते, और उसको हम निष्काम कर्म योगा करते हैं, जो चैप्टर 3 भगवद गीता में आता है। मंत्र 3 यही बताता है कि अगर हम भगवान से कनेक्टेड नहीं रहे, जो कि मंत्र 2 है, अगर हमने मंत्र 2 को फॉलो नहीं किया, तो मंत्र 3 कहता है कि हमारा बहुत ही बुरा हाल होगा, क्योंकि हमारी डिजायर्स गलत होंगी, और हमारी डिजायर्स गलत होंगी तो हमारे कर्म गलत होंगे, और अगर हमारे कर्म गलत होंगे तो भगवान यहाँ पे कहते हैं मन मना भव मद भक्तो मध्य जिन नाम नमस्कार। अगर भगवान से हम कनेक्टेड नहीं है, अगर हमने भगवान को सरेंडर नहीं किया, तो हमारा बहुत बहुत बुरा हाल होगा। यहाँ पे एक वर्ड और है, इसको हम और डिस्कस करेंगे, द किलर ऑफ द सोल। तो माता जी ने एक बहुत अच्छा प्रश्न पूछा था कि इसका क्या मतलब है, और हमने बात भी करी कि भगवत गीता में चैप्टर 2 के अंदर कृष्ण अर्जुन को आत्मज्ञान देते हैं और बताते हैं आत्मा को कभी मारा नहीं जाता। लेकिन यहाँ पे कहते हैं कि जो इंसान असुर है, वो फेथलेस है, वो विश्वास नहीं करता भगवान में, वो डार्क अंधकार में जाता है, इग्नोरेंस, वो पूर्ण रूप से मूर्ख हो जाएगा, उसे कुछ पता ही नहीं लगेगा क्या हो रहा है। जैसे हम देखते हैं प्रभुपाद जी जब अमेरिका गए तो उन्होंने बहुत लोगों को देखा जो लोग ड्रग्स लेते थे, तो भगवान यही कहते थे कि भगवान इनको क्षमा करें, इनको मालूम ही नहीं है ये क्या कर रहे हैं, बिकॉज दे आर इग्नोरेंट। एंड दिस इज व्हाट Srila Prabhupada ji, that's the reason Srila Prabhupada ji was so compassionate. He didn't feel anything bad about them. He just had so much compassion for them, right? That they don't even know. And we have many other examples. In Gaudiya Vaishnavas, we have a Nama Acharya, Haridas Thakur ji. And Haridas Thakur ji was beaten so badly in 22 marketplaces. And he had a compassion for those who were beating. He said, "Oh Lord, they don't know what they are doing. They are beating your devotees. Please don't take their offense, right? Don't give them the fruit of their bad karmas." But so they are called suras. And those who don't follow these karmas, they are asuras. Now, asuras, because they do the bad karma, they do the bad things, they kill the soul. Now, what does that mean, killing the soul? Nobody can kill the soul. Basically, it means that what soul stands for. What soul stands for. Now, soul is Satta, Chitta, Ananda. And if somebody does bad karmas, he will or she will not realize Satchitananda. And that's what it means by killer of the soul. So somebody who realizes soul, somebody who doesn't realize his soul, based on our karma. If we do good things, or we do the pious things, if we become devotee, we will realize the true nature of our soul, which is Satchitananda, we become Satchitananda. But if somebody who does bad things, the karma is bad, the results will be bad, and then we will never able to get to the level of Satchitananda, which means we are killing the soul. Not that literally we are killing the soul, but it's reflective that what soul stands for. Soul stands for Satchitananda. So our actions are bad, we will never get Satchitananda, which means what we can get by soul realization, we will not able to get that, which means indirectly we are killing the soul. So this is what the killer of the soul means. And we will get further. Chaitanya Charan Prabhuji explains this even further. This is an example of, we have seen this example. Somebody who used to kill animal got in touch with Narad Muni, and now even the ants, somebody is walking and he became a Brahmin, he became a Vaishnava. He's taking care of even ants. Remember the compassion, how much compassion somebody could have. And based on mantra 3, so this person was doing bad things, and now mantra 2 on the right. So this left hand side screen says that this is mantra 3, he's doing the bad karmas. He will definitely get bad results. But because he got into what it says, sadhu sangha, lava matra, little bit of, even a moment of sadhu sangha, the association with pure devotees can deliver you, and that's the transformation he got. And now this is mantra 2, where he got attached with Krishna, and not only attached with Krishna as God, but he sees everyone as the devotee, the person. So this is how we all could become if we can get attached to Krishna. Sur and Asur. So Sur, who follows, so chapter 16, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14 also says this, list down number of things which Suras do, like good qualities, Asuras do, bad qualities. So mantra 3 says, we should not do the bad qualities. We should always develop good qualities. And how? When we attach to Krishna, right? And based on our association. Now it says, basic thing, Asura. Ra is enjoyment. Somebody who always keeps looking for his own enjoyment always goes down. So हमें अपनी इंद्रिय तृप्तियों के लिए नहीं, भगवान की सेवा के लिए अपना जीवन व्यतीत करना चाहिए, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेनी चाहिए और डिवोशनल सर्विस में लिप्त होना चाहिए. अभिषेक जी, हरे कृष्णा. अभिषेक जी कह रहे हैं, if we are souls, then why we need two types of bodies? That is killing of soul. Means soul enjoys a lot in the service of the Lord, and soul rejects Krishna's service and desires to enjoy Krishna's material energy. That is killing soul. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So अभिषेक जी ने बहुत ही अच्छे से समझाया है कि हमारी स्पिरिचुअल बॉडी है, हमारी मटेरियल बॉडी है. अगर हमने बात करी थी इस चीज की कि वॉलंटियर वर्क हमेशा हम करते हैं. किसी को साइकोलॉजिकल प्रॉब्लम हो जाती है, कहते हैं वॉलंटियर वर्क करो. और जब किसी के पास में, जैसे हम बिल गेट्स का एग्जांपल है, उनके पास बहुत पैसा आ गया, अब वो अपनी मनी, अपना पूरा टाइम, फुल टाइम चैरिटी में लगाते हैं. तो क्यों वो ऐसा करते हैं? क्योंकि ये आत्मा का स्वरूप है. जब हमारे पास कुछ नहीं है, हम उसको पाने की कोशिश करते हैं, लेकिन शायद बिल गेट्स उस जगह पहुंच गए हैं कि जो भी चीज एक इंसान को मिल सकती है उनके पास में अवेलेबल है. तो अब वो सब होने के बाद उनको ये चीज की रियलाइजेशन हुआ कि द ट्रू नेचर ऑफ द सोल इज टू सर्व अदर्स. कि भक्त को, एक इंसान के पास में जितना मर्जी मटीरियली आ जाए, वो संतुष्ट नहीं हो सकता. लेकिन हाँ, अगर वो अपने आप को स्पिरिचुअली, आध्यात्मिक रूप में समझने की कोशिश करे, तो वो दूसरों को सर्व करने का होता है. और हम कृष्ण के सेवक हैं, इस वजह से कृष्ण के जितने भी भक्त हैं, हम उनके भी सेवक हैं, हम उनकी सबकी सेवा करना चाहते हैं. और तब हमको रियलाइज होता है कि हमारा ट्रू नेचर क्या है. जब तक हम अपने आप को भौतिक शरीर से, भौतिक संसार में लिप्त मानेंगे, तब तक अपने आप को सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन में, इंद्र तृप्ति में लगा के रखेंगे. और हम हमेशा जो आत्मा का स्वरूप है, सत्य चितानंद, उससे दूर जाएंगे. तो वो ऐसा है कि हम अपनी आत्मा को मार रहे हैं. अगेन लिटरली नहीं, लेकिन आत्मा जिस चीज के लिए स्टैंड करती है. तो थैंक यू सो मच. This is called our Swarup, but in current situation it's hidden, or we can say covered by subtle and gross body. Hare Krishna. अभिजीत जी और एक चीज बहुत अच्छे से बताते हैं कि हमने बात करी, हमारे दो शरीर होते हैं, एक ग्रॉस, एक सटल. तो एक ये स्थूल शरीर है जो बना, हम देख सकते हैं, टच कर सकते हैं, स्किन है, आंख है, नाक है, सारे सेंसेस है. एक सूक्ष्म शरीर होता है, सटल बॉडी, which is made up of three things: ego, intelligence and mind. तो बुद्धि, अहंकार, मन बुद्धि अहंकार से हमारा सूक्ष्म शरीर बना होता है. इसके परे हमारी आत्मा है. तो जब तक हम इन चीजों में, अपने शरीर में लगे रहेंगे, इन मन बुद्धि अहंकार में लगे रहेंगे, तब तक हम वो आत्मा तक नहीं पहुंच सकते. और हमारे कर्म ये डिफाइन करते हैं, हमारी एसोसिएशन ये डिफाइन करती है कि हम आध्यात्मिक आत्मा को पहचाने या हम भौतिक शरीर को पहचाने, चाहे वो ग्रॉस हो चाहे सटल हो, चाहे वो स्थूल हो या सूक्ष्म हो. ये पता लगता है, हमारी एसोसिएशन की वजह से हमारे कर्म डिफरेंट हो जाते हैं. हरे कृष्णा. माता जी says, whether one gets sura or asura quality, does it depend on karmas and their fructification? Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mata ji. To a lot of to a great degree, yes, but we always have a choice. So what we get from our karmas is the circumstances, if we think about. Yes. So Abhishek ji says free will. We have the free will to decide. For example, so there are two children. one child is born into a rich family, one child is born in a poor family, we will think the child who is born in the rich family has everything at his disposal. He could become a great devotee if he likes. He can study as much as he wants. He can take care of good health of his. But whether he will do or not, that's where free will comes in. He has the free will. Because of his past karmas, good past karmas, he got a very nice environment, rich family. But whether he will make good use of it or not, that's his free will. And the same thing, poor kid in a poor family, maybe without parents, on a social housing, because of the bad karmas in the past life, got that environment. But he has a choice. He can work very hard. For example, these days in England, we see Lord Alan Sugar. He's running the show Apprentice. He was a child born in a poor family, and he's a lord now. Well, lord not in a spiritual sense, but lord is the like sir, lord. These are the positions, the designations given by the authority, by queen, right? And he worked hard for it, so he made a very good use of his free will. So the qualities we develop ourselves, our gunas, whether we very get angry, the base will be there, but still we can control that anger because we have the free will. Of course, the previous bad karmas will give us the environment, favorable or unfavorable circumstances, but still we have the free will. We always have the free will. Environment could be favorable and we can make good use of free will. Environment might not be favorable and it will be hard for us to use our free will, but still we have free will. And Abhishek ji says, and currently our free will is affected by false ego and demonic association. Yes. So association is the main thing. Association is very, very like the fundamental thing, because what we desire. If my best friend is loves cricket, definitely we will talk about cricket. Definitely I will desire to become a cricketer, desire to watch cricket, desire to go and attend cricket events. And if my best friend or the people I mingle with, if they like Bollywood movies, Hollywood movies, the new series on Amazon, Netflix, if I hear that all the time, sooner or later I will fall into the same trap. However, again, I'm not criticizing these things, but what I'm saying is that the human life is not meant to spend the whole life into these things. If we not do like Srimad Bhagavatam, so 1.3.27 says, Jivasya Tattva Jigyasa. Jigyasa, the inquiry. The human body, the human life, the purpose of human life is to inquire. What to inquire? And that's in the next verse. Brahma, Paramatma, or Bhagavan. So we need to inquire about these things, which is the spiritual quest we all should have. That's the purpose of human life. And again, if we spend time with the devotees, they always talk about Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, all the stories. So now when children ask me to tell some stories, because I read spiritual scriptures, I can only tell scripture references. So all the stories come from Bhagavatam or Chaitanya Charitamrita, because those are the books I associate myself in. So this happens automatically, this happens gradually. So definitely the association, whether our association is demonic or it's divine. So there are two qualities. So based on that association, of course, our false ego could change. Then there is a term called Bhakti Unmukhi Sukriti, Bhakti Unmukhi Sukriti. Right, okay. Yes, so this happens a lot. I remember a friend of mine many years back when I came to London, he took me to Watford Temple in Bhaktivedanta Manor. It's like nearly 20 years back. Then I was not associated with ISKCON. And my family has always been Vaishnav, so he knew me from the past. He knew me from university days. He knew me, I'm a bit spiritual. He knew me that I enjoy and I love to visit temples. So I was not in London. So when I visited him in London, he said, okay, I will take you to a temple. I said, okay, that's good, let's go. And then he took me to Bhaktivedanta Manor temple, where after many years I got associated, and we mostly spend our Sundays there. I'm serving there as much as I can. Now, he's not associated. I don't remember when he visited last time. Maybe for many years he didn't go to the temple. But because he took me there, and I'm spending time there and I'm serving, because of that, so obviously I got his help, that he helped me. And because he got me through, he got. So both of us associated each other. And this is where the words come, where we say Sukriti, Unmukti. It's like somebody who lets you go, and the person will not go, but the person will still get the benefit. And the Shastric evidence is the stepmother of Dhruv Maharaj. So Suruchi was her name. And she was a stepmother. She was the youngest or younger wife. And when Dhruv Maharaj wanted to get to the lap of his father, she said, no. You can't go there. My son will go and my son will become the king. You're not fortunate enough to be my child, right? So you can't go there. And he was upset, Dhruv Maharaj. And he went he met Narad Muni. He did a lot of penance, austerity. He got the darshan of Vishnu. And then he got delivered. And while he was going back to Godhead, he saw before him, his stepmother was going. Why? Because his stepmother said something to him. Because of it, he became a devotee. So that's the kind of security we have. Then of course, a lot of time we say a devotee becomes a pure devotee, and there are so many people help in that. So it's not like, and somebody says, oh, I go a lot, I'm speaking to this person a lot. He doesn't become a devotee for last 10 years. But we don't know. Inside, things are changing slowly, gradually. And we have Gary Prabhu, Govinda Bhai. He's with us. Hare Krishna. And,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So I had the fortunate association of his, because he lives nearby. We went on a walk and he shared such a great wisdom of his own life with me. And he could tell so many stories, that how those people who might not take the devotional path themselves, but they help us to become a devotee, right? And of course we are fortunate, and they also become fortunate. So bhakti elevated Sukriti means spiritual acceptance. The spiritual acceptance, of course. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, just to say, we would love to hear from you, but our timings are 9:30 to 10:30.
Yes, I know.
I know
it's difficult for me to get up so early on a Saturday morning because I work late on Friday evenings.
Haribol. I do remember you did say, but still, it's always a pleasure to have you, just to hear, to have your presence.
I just thought I'd pop in and say good morning and say Hare Krishna. I caught the tail end of that story. That's one of my favorite stories. Very inspiring story, that one.
Haribol. Yes. Dhruv Maharaj. Yes.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Yes. Now, by all means, it's always a pleasure, even if you could come right at the last moment just to say Hare Krishna. And this is what we were saying. So we were discussing that this is the slide I was saying, that Narad Muni's just that one moment of pure devotee could transform someone. So we should not wait and that, because we cannot spend so much time with someone, we should not go. Even if we get a movement, even if we get just the vision from distance, we should always look for the association of pure devotees, of course. Hare Krishna. So we tried revising mantra 3 today. And as I was saying, next week we will conclude mantra 3. And Rama Priya Prabhuji, who been to our sessions once, and I requested him, he would like to take any mantra. and he said to me that mantra 3 he would like to. So he would be here next Saturday, 19th of March, from 9:30 to 10:30, and he will summarize mantra 3. And feel free to ask any questions or any clarification. And so I put together some slides, which we won't be able to do it now because the time is up. But maybe after that, we will do that again on karma. So how the karmas work, how the fruits of karmas come back. And there are many different examples and different analogies, different flow charts, just for us to remember. So it will really help us in that respect. Great. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, everyone. It's such a pleasure to have your association. Look forward to hear from you again.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada ki jai, Guruji Maharaj ki jai, Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, jai jai Shri Radhe. Hare Krishna. Hare